Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here, welcome to my channel as well. Today I've got a workshop. I don't do a lot of workshop chores, but today is one of them. Today I'm going to make a box, some kind of wooden box to hold my paring chisels. Now if you're not familiar with paring chisels, I've used these in some videos before. They're basically a long chisel, and of course they came in these plastic sleeves, and you can kind of see struggling to get these things out, in and out. They're labeled in the top. I usually put the wrong ones in the wrong sleeve. So today what I'm going to do is make a box to put all of these in. And these are chisels that you use in joinery. They're like a hand chisel. I very seldom need a chisel that I can hammer on. These are not hammering chisels. These are hand, really super sharp hand chiseling. So let's get busy and make a box to put these in so it's convenient. Now, before I get started today, the first thing I need to do is align my bandsaw blade. And what I need to do, I've tried to align it so that it's 90 degrees to the table, and it always seems to be off. Now, where it becomes important is when you're doing thin pieces of wood, like I'm often doing, cutting veneers. And of course, you've seen me use this shop-made fence for that, and it works great. But it only works great when the saw is set up properly. So what I know is that it's not set up right now. And what I need to do, if you look underneath here, you'll see that there's a spot in here, and I don't know if you can see, but there's a bolt that hangs down here. And when you drop it down and it clangs like that, that's supposed to be set at 90 degrees to the blade, but it's not. And try as I might with a square, I'm just not getting it. It's close, but it's not perfect. So I've just picked up a new tool. This is an Andy Klein tool. You can see it on the edge of my bandsaw there. And it's got little magnets on the side. And the way it works is you set it on the edge of your saw like that, and then you can use one of these little tilt boxes. So I'm going to take a minute and set that up. Okay, so I don't know if you can see that, but it's zeroed. I've just put my little tilt box on there and it's at 0. Now what I'm going to take it off and put it on my table, and I know that it's going to be off by a little bit. I put it down there and it's off by 0.20, which at this level is not so bad, but as it gets further up here, it makes more of a difference. So what I need to do is get that to 0. So what I'm going to do, I've loosened up my bolt back here. So I'm just going to tilt this over and adjust that screw just a tiny bit. And I think there we are. Okay, that's 0 there, and let's take it back up here, and it's 0. Oh, yeah, it's 0 there. All right, so that's it. That's a perfect alignment. That's exactly what I need. Now I'm going to go ahead. I've got some walnut that I want to cut. I'm going to check the blade for any drift, make sure there isn't any drift in it, and we'll go ahead and cut that. Okay, there's my piece of wood, and I've jointed one end flat, and both the top and bottom are at right angles. So let's go ahead and turn the dust collector on. Now I'm just going to take that over to the planer and just run that through to an even 1/2 inch. Now I could have just run this through the planer, but I wanted to, first of all, I had to set up the bandsaw, but also I got a little piece of wood that I can use for something else, and I saved a whole bunch of dust. So it's kind of a win-win to do it this way. So I'm going to be using my doweling jig to put this together, and that'll keep the corners nice and tight. But there's a little trick with this, a little secret with these doweling jigs. Now I'm using the 1/4 inch, going to be using the 1/4 inch dowels, but when you take it apart, inside, you'll notice there's a little check mark here, and included with your kit will be this little sort of a shim, and you can see that it has some countersink holes. It even comes with some little screws and a little Allen wrench, and when you put that in there, that should align. It's a way of moving these jaws a little bit closer together, and that is to help accommodate for that. So I'm going to take a minute and put this together. I've already measured this out, and this little piece of wood here is going to should put me in the exact position, and you'll see this later on. But right now, what I'm mostly testing is to make sure this is going to go in the middle of my wood here. Or at least fairly close to it. Yeah, that's pretty good. Okay, as it turns out, I need to know which are the bottoms because I'm aligning the doweling jig from the bottom. So we'll put the first one in. Yeah, actually, we're going to do the long ones first of all. Just like that. And the bottom is on this side. And I'm aligning the bottom to this little piece of wood here because that's going to be underneath the bottom. So I'm going to do 1 and 3 on each one of these. And 3. Okay, yeah, that's going to work out just perfect. Okay, I'm going to carry on and do the rest of them just like that. Okay, you can see that I've got the flat side of the bottom now, and I've got that little indentation, this little piece of wood here. Now I just need to... And of course I've had to reset my drill bit here. Because I don't want to go through this wood. Take that off. And there's the bottom. Now I got to switch it around and go this way. And I put this back on like that. And now I use the piece of wood on this side. Okay, I'll do the other side and we'll do a quick dry fit. Okay, that's perfect. Now, the next thing I'm going to do is finish all of these sides because the next thing after this is glue up, and I always want to do my finishing before I do the glue ups. So I'm not going to show you the sanding, only to let you know that I am starting off with 120 grit, and I'll go to 180 grit as a final sanding. So the wood is awfully good right now, so I'll just go ahead and do that. Okay, sanding's all done. I've wiped everything down, and I put a little bit of Osmo in this little glass jar here, and I'm just going to go ahead and put a very, very thin coat. Now, the next thing I'm going to do is to fit the bottom. And the reason I want to fit the bottom next is because I'm not going to put a hinge on this box. I've become unattached to hinges over the years, and as handy as they are, sometimes they can always, I always find they get in the way. So you can't put something like this in a drawer. If you want to get a chisel out of it, you have to open the drawer all the way up. You have to take the box all the way out, lift it up, I just find them more annoying sometimes, especially in the box this size. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to be able to lift the lid off, move it out of the way. I can leave the chisels on the desktop or the workbench if I want, or I can leave the top there. I can put it somewhere else, but the top needs to be able to fit on securely. So what I'm going to be doing, I'm going to be putting on inside here, I'm going to be inlaying, this is holly. So it's a contrasting wood so that when you close the lid, or when you put the lid on top, it will be locked in by this very thin holly all the way around. Now I've rough cut this. I've had this stuff laying around for years, and what I'm going to do, I need to cut it down a little bit more, so I'm going to run it through my planer, and my planer will go down to 1/8 of an inch. So this is going to be nice and thin, and it will line the inside of the box with this white holly. So it'll be brown on the outside and white on the inside. Okay, after a little bit of block planing, a little bit of sanding on the edges, and now it fits just like a glove. Good thing I've got the other side here. I can poke it out the top because it's nice tight fit in there, and there's no way that that's coming out. Okay, now I'm going to take a moment and I'm just going to glue that in there. Okay, with a little bit of trimming, it looks like it's a really tight fit. Yeah, there it does, and it does go in there. Now before I glue this in, I'm going to use my pinner here just to put a couple of pins at the very bottom here. But what I am going to do, I'm going to take my block plane, first of all, if I can get this out of here, and I'm just going to trim the top here just a little bit. Just want to take that edge off of there so that when the lid comes down, it will actually have a little bit of a place to slide by. So I don't take very much off. Okay, there's the other side going in. I've already glued that, but you can see that very fine little bit of pinning or planing that I did there. Okay, so I have to hold this down here so you can see, because you can't see. So you see that I've got some wood at the bottom. What I want to do is make a gutter so that these blades will go into that sort of a gutter down there, so that they'll actually stop. Let me move it up a little bit. You'll be able to at least maybe you can barely see that. So there will be what I call a gutter down there, but up here I'm going to be putting magnets in all of these so that when you grab a chisel, you can pull it up and just pull it out like that. Move that over like that. So that will go in like that. And I've decided I'm just going to leave this alone. The other thing that I am going to do, because I may want to adjust this later on, I'm going to drive screws into the back of this wood from the back of this case here, in case I ever want to move this up or down or change that. Okay, I've laid out everything here. I'm going to be using 2-part epoxy, and I'm going to mix it up in this little mixing tray here. I've prepared, there's all of my placeholders for the chisels, and I've drilled holes in them, and I've enlarged the holes a tiny bit because I like the magnets to be snug in there, but I also like to have glue that sort of comes out the side so that it grips all the way around. But here's a little trick. When you're doing the testing, you really want to drill some holes after you've drilled your Forstner bit hole in the top. Drill a hole all the way through so that when you put your magnet in there, you can push it out from the back, because these can go in there really tight. So just a little tip on that. And this is the what have we got here? This is the hardener part, or it just says mix 50-50, so you don't need a ton of glue here. The other thing I've got is these little silicone mixers, and I'm going to have way more glue here than I need, but that's all right. Well, now that the box is all made, now I need to put something on the lid, and I've got another piece of thin plywood here. It's kind of plain, but I think we can dress it up. Let's see what we can do here. All right, let's have a look at that. Wow, that's cool. Very cool. Well, and that's it. My paring chisels finally have a permanent home, and it's a really deluxe home too. And there's even a picture of me on the front, and the top just lifts off so I can take it and move it out of the way. I don't have to worry about hinges and doors getting in the way. And I've got it at a little bit of a slant right now because it's easier to get at, but you can stand it straight up. It will stand straight up. Of course, you can lay it down. It's thin enough it can slide inside of a lot of drawers so you can get it out of the way. And because there's earth magnets on the back, you just take it off, put it back in the end back in the gutter down here, and it just snaps back in place. So I am super happy with that. That will last me a long, long time. In fact, it'll probably last somebody else beyond me a long, long time as well. So super way of making some tool that you may be frustrated with, making it quick and handy to use. So I'm Colin for Woodwork Web. Thanks for watching.